Hello and thank you for joining me for today's combination class. The piece of equipment we'll be using today is a short band. Mine is just a medium resistance. We're going to be using it throughout the entire class, from our glute work to our core work to our upper body. Okay, so we're going to get started with some stretching today. Then we're going to move into our cardio sort of piece, and then we'll go through some Pilates and bar sort of orientated work after that. Okay, so we're going to start at one end of our mat. And what we're going to do from here is we're just going to lift one leg up as high as you can, pulling the knee up towards your chest. And then I want you to extend the leg away, and we're going to drop the leg down into a lunge, rising up onto the back toes, okay? And now from here we're going to extend the front leg, reach your hands down to the floor as far as you can. We're going to get a little hold here. So 5, keep pushing the chest down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to step the front leg back into a down dog, push the heels down, push the chest down towards the floor as well, and the tailbones are pushing up towards the ceiling. Walking the hands all the way in, rolling all the way back up. Okay, and now we're back to the start. Let's go other side. So drawing the knee all the way up towards your chest and extending the leg away, rising up onto the toe at the back, pushing and sinking the hips through, stretching through the hip flexor and the quad. Hands come down, extending the leg, pushing the belly button towards the thigh, chest towards your knee and head towards your shin. And taking the front leg back, pushing the heels down. Walking the hands all the way in, rolling all the way up through the spine. Let's take the arms up overhead this time. Add a little back bend. And then come all the way down. Let's do one more of them on each leg. Drawing all the way up, extending the leg away, and coming down into a lunge, and extending the leg. Bring the hands back slightly for our down dog position. This time let's rise and lower through the toes. Rise and rise. Walking the hands all the way in, rolling up, arms come overhead. Taking a little reach, and let's go last one, other side, extending the leg, coming down, extending the front leg. You can push your back heel down as far as you can now that you're getting a little bit warmer. Lengthening through your spine, taking the front leg back and pushing the chest down. Drawing the tailbone up towards the ceiling to lengthen through the hamstrings and the calves. Heels are reaching down towards the floor, warming up through the ankles as well. And walking the hands all the way in, rolling all the way back up. Okay, and we're just going to come down onto our 4-point kneel. And we're just going to take one leg out to the side, doesn't matter what leg you use first. Now from here, if you have your right leg extended, we're going to take the left elbow down. Right hand can stay up on the floor. And we're just going to take the leg up, all the way across, bending the knee. And you can look towards the foot. And then extend it back away, tapping the foot back down. Okay, just warming up through the spine. Now your range might be a bit smaller. You can even keep the foot in contact with the floor, reaching behind you, and then coming back. Okay, keep that going. I feel this stretch all the way through my belly here on the side, and extending all the way back down. Let's go one more on this side. So we're not stressing too much about a square alignment here. It's about creating some space through the chest and the hips, warming up through the lower back and the upper back in some rotation here, and extension. Okay, moving all the way back in, let's go other side, extending the leg, and we'll just take the right elbow down with left leg extended, or vice versa, and all the way up and across. Looking towards the foot if that feels comfortable for you, otherwise you can stay looking away. Looking away might help to balance you a little bit if you're finding this is tricky on stability. with your stability, up and over. And all the way back. And last one. And all the way back in. Nice. Alrighty. Now from here we're going to work with a little bit of extension work, which is back bending. So let's come down onto the elbows, and then we're just going to drop the hips through, pushing the chest up and through, sitting up and out of the shoulders. We want to make sure you're not pushing the chin up towards the ceiling, okay? It should be a nice gradual line from your tailbone to the top of your head. If you feel up to progressing, we're going to come down and push up onto the hands, rolling all the way up through the spine, and just letting the hips pull through towards the floor. Okay, now let's tuck the toes under, and we're going to push up into a down dog from here. Use your core to help protect your back. And now we're going to roll through the spine, and I just want you to come to wherever you can comfortably sink through to the hips, okay? So it is quite a lot of load on the lower back. You want to go nice and slow. You can untuck the toes if you like. This will help you get some more range towards the floor. By contrast, if you're finding this isn't stretching you at all, you can keep your toes tucked, keep the knees straight, and then that enables you to move through a little bit of a bigger range here. And then drawing all the way back up into your down dog. Let's do 2 more, rolling forward. And coming all the way back up. And last one, rolling forward. Lowering down, and let's push all the way back into your child's pose from here, and we'll just sink our hips from one side to the other. One more on each side here. You can keep your hands planted if you like. It's just a subtle little stretch from one side to the other. If you want to increase this stretch, you can walk the hands away from the way that your hips are sinking. You might feel this through your lower back. Some of you might feel it through the side of the hips. Okay, and we're going to come all the way back up to our standing, and we're just going to hold on to something. You can hold on to the wall, the chair, and we're just going to add some kicks out to the side. So we're going to swing the leg forward and then take it straight up. Doesn't matter how high you get your leg. Let's go 5, 3, just freeing up through the hip flexor, and 1, and other side. We're also warming up through your inner thighs here. Try and keep your bottom leg as straight as you can. If it's putting any strain on your knee though, you can add a little bend. Let's go 3 more. 2, and 1. Now you can stay holding on to whatever you're using, and we're going to push one heel down, and we're just going to get some high volume, some reps here, pushing and rising up through the heel. So lower and rise. Warming up through our feet. We're going to be getting into our cardio piece in a little bit. So I want to make sure we're thoroughly warm. Preparing our body so we can land nice and smoothly through the feet, knees and ankles. Let's go other side, pushing down, rising up. Let's go 5 more. 3, and 1. Okay, and coming down into a lunge. Now I just want to get a stretch for our hip flexor at the back. So we're thinking about drawing the tailbone under, pulling the hips up towards your ribs, and then we're lengthening through the front of the body, and the tailbone is pushing down, okay? So that creates that length here, which then hopefully is stretching. So if you don't feel this stretch through the hip flexor, it could be quite high or down quite low or near your quad, you can add on with a reach back, okay? Or you could lift the back foot up off the floor. Just be mindful, this is quite hard on your knee to lift the foot off. You might want to roll your mat up or grab a little pillow. And let's hold it here for 5, 4. You could also sink the hips. And 1. Okay. And let's go to the other side. Drawing the tailbone under. You can sink forward if you get a stretch out of that. I know a lot of people, when they sink forward, they tend to feel it more in their quad, so down a little bit further than their hip flexor. And if your hip flexors is something that you really need to work on lengthening, you might want to stay tall and just keep working on that tilt of the pelvis. Okay, if you want to lift the foot off, you're more than welcome to. You can use the opposite hand or the same hand. And let's hold for 5. And 1. Releasing it off. Okay, we have one more stretch just to warm up through the upper body. So we're going to take your arms out to the side, keeping them bent, and we're just going to roll towards one side here. Okay, and I'm hoping that you feel this stretch through the front of the shoulder and even through the front of the chest. You could try this with a straight arm too, but from feedback in a lot of classes that I've coached over the years, majority of people feel this stretch when the arm is bent. Okay, if you're not feeling it, your arm might be too close to your ribs. You might need to just push the elbow a little bit further away from you. And let's go other side. Don't stress about where your legs are. You just want to make sure you feel balanced here. You shouldn't be working too hard to hold this position. And let's hold for another 5, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, coming all the way in. And we're going to get into our cardio piece now. If you'd like to leave your shoes on or go chuck some shoes on now, you're more than welcome to, and I'll meet you back on the mat. Okay, getting started for our cardio piece now. We're just going to start with some high knees on the spot. If you're not feeling quite warm enough yet, you can start with some low lifts of the knees, and then you can start getting them a little bit higher each time. Okay, soft landing through your feet, using your arms here, your core is engaged. And let's go 6, 5, 2, 1, double jumps. Good, soft landing through your feet. Let's go 6, 5, 2, 1, and we're going to take one leg out and then pull it up. If you can't quite get this coordination wise, you can just work on a double jump, alternating legs. Okay, whatever feels best for you. And let's go 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, coming back to our stationary position, we're going to step to one side of your mat. Now we're going to take the arms across to the left, and we're stepping the right foot away. So we step across, drawing all the way back up. Okay, so we're rebounding off the right foot. Nice and explosive each time, pushing up. But engaging through the core, rib cage towards your hips. Let's go 6. 3, 2, and 1. Stepping it in, straight into the other side. Soft as we drop the foot down, and then explosive pushing up. Let's go 6 more. 3, and last one. Okay, back to some jogging on the spot. And double, double, 3, 4, and kick, 2, 3, 4, back to double. 4, and kick, 2, 3, 4, keep going. Soft landing. Hopefully your heart rate starts to elevate. You're starting to feel a little bit warmer. Last one's here. 4, and kick, 2, 3, 4. We're going to reach down, double jump, down, double jump, and then we're doing 4 jumping jacks. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, double, down, double, 4, 3, 1. Double, down, double, 4. Arms can do whatever they feel most coordinated doing. Double, out. Last one, down, double up. Okay, stay with the jumping jacks. And let's go 5, 4, 3, and last one, high knees. Get a little bit faster. A little bit faster if you can. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take one leg back for a lunge. Drive the knee up. Big breath. Add a jump if you want to. Four more on this side. 3, 2, 1. Step it in. Other leg. Let's do it. Up and lunge. Six more. 3. And last one. Stepping it in. Okay, you should be well and truly warm. Let's grab our short band and we're going to lay down on our back. So from here, we're going to grab our short band. Let's place it around our knees. Now we're going to place the feet down a bit wider than hip distance apart. Your knees will start in, feet are out. And now we're just going to pull the knees out to meet where the feet are, and then control all the way back in. Okay, so we're going to start with an imprinted spine. So pushing your lower back into the floor, controlling as we draw it back in. Nice and slow to start. So let's go halfway, full, halfway, back in. I'll just turn to face the side. Let's keep it going. So it goes halfway, full, half, and in. Okay, now we're going to hold the band about halfway with the knees, and from here I want you to try and add, I'm just going to lift the hands up, you don't have to do this though with the hands. We're going to try and add a little lift of just your tailbone, okay? So squeeze your bottom together, lift the tailbone off the floor, okay? But notice my lower back is still in contact. It's from where the band of my pants is down is off the floor here, okay? So other than my feet. And now we're going to hold this halfway point with the knees, and now we're trying to work past this range. So this is our returning position. We're trying to reach away and then back into that position there. So away and out. Little pulses here. Let's keep drawing your belly button towards your spine, warming up through your quads, through the hamstrings, the backs of your legs, and your glutes. Okay, let's go for 10. 7, 4, and holding it out on your next one. If you need to have a breather, take it now. Otherwise, what we're working on is holding this tension in the abduction, so where we're pushing the legs away. You want to have tension on the band. We're going to push the hips up all the way up towards the ceiling. So we're up on the shoulders now, and then roll all the way back down through the spine, keeping your tailbone off the floor. Okay, and rolling all the way up through each vertebrae, rising up onto the shoulders, pulling the shoulders down into the floor, then rolling down through the spine, vertebrae at a time. Tailbone is hovering. Let's keep it going, rising up. There's no rush. Squeeze through your bottom and roll all the way down. Let's keep it going. I'm definitely starting to feel my glutes here. And roll. 2, 3, 4. And back up for 4, 3, 2, 1. And 4 down. No rush. 3, 4. Last one. 3, 4. Let's hold it up. And now from here, we're going to go with the knees reaching away and then coming back in. So away and in. Let's go 6, 4, 2, and 1. Holding the band away, and let's rise up onto the toes. Lower back down. 8, hips are high. 7, 5, arms can be wherever. 4, 2, and 1. Holding it up on your toes, and now we're going back down, rolling down for 4, and then rolling all the way back up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. 2, 3, 4, and up. So if you feel like your feet are too far away from you, just feel free to walk them in. We want them to be sort of stacked directly underneath the knees, give or take, a couple of centimeters within that sort of range there, as long as you feel stable. My glutes are on fire. Let's go, last one, rolling all the way up and coming all the way down. Woo! Okay, have a little breather there. You can just drop your knees from one side to the other. They are intense. I'm also very sore today, so please don't stress if you're not quite feeling your glutes or your hamstrings yet. I'll make sure you do by the end of this class. It's my promise to you. Okay, and we're going to go back into some abduction now. We're going to keep our left foot planted on the floor. We'll just turn to face the side. So left foot is staying still, and we're just taking the right leg out and then draw it all the way back in, nice and slow. Just stay on this side. Okay, and we want to make sure that the left leg isn't compensating. Okay, so not only are we making sure that it's not pulling towards the right leg, we want to make sure that you're not pushing it out as well together, okay? Otherwise that's pretty much the same exercise that we're doing before. So we're trying to isolate through one leg now. Your tailbone can just be flat on the floor. We're not too stressed about the lift anymore. Okay, let's go 6, no rush. 5, 3, and 1. Keeping our right leg still, let's go just the left leg. So don't stress too much about your toes lifting up off the floor. I'm rolling onto the outside of my foot, then coming back to a flat foot. Let's go 6 more. 3, and 1. Okay, and drawing all the way in. Have a little breather. You can pull your knees into your chest here. Give them a little lengthen. Little circles through the hips. And let's reverse. Okay, now we're going to extend the legs all the way up from here. We want to try and get the legs as straight as you can. If you have a restriction through mobility, you might want to place your hands underneath your hips or grab a pillow, or you could roll your mat up, grab a towel. There's lots of options. You just want to elevate the hips, but not too high, and this will help you to lift the legs up without having to use the core, because if your range is restricting you and your hamstrings are pulling you down, your core is working quite hard to maintain that position through the legs, and we should be working through the glutes still, okay? We'll get to the core work after this. So we're going to go reaching the legs out to the side, and then we're going to pulse it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drawing it all the way back in, okay? Your option from here is to take the band a touch lower. The lower it is, the harder it is, okay? So holding out and pulsing for 5, 4, 2, 1, and drawing back in. So you can point or flex your feet, just do what feels comfortable. And you could also take the band around the feet here, which is, I find, the hardest option. We just want to make sure that the band isn't pulling our toes and our feet in, okay? We want to try and keep everything nice and square. So I'll turn to face the back for you, and we're just going to go all the way out, and let's pulse it for 5, 4, 2, 1. Now when we draw back in on this next one, and all of the other reps after this, we want to make sure there's some tension still on the band, okay? So we're not drawing into where there's slack. So keep tension, a reasonable amount, and then we want to push back away and hold out for 5, 4, 2, 1, controlling all the way in. Let's keep it going. 5, 1, and all the way in. Let's go out again 3 more times. 5, 2, 1, and in. 4, 3, 1, and in. Last one. Let's do it. 5, and all the way in. Awesome job. Okay, feel free to have a little breather, and we'll get into some more glute work in a second. And to finish off our glute series, we're going to go into a 4-point kneel, and we'll just place the band either just below the knees or just above, whatever you prefer. And we're going to push the floor away from us, creating a nice strong base through the hands and the shoulders. And we're going to take one leg out to the side for a fire hydrant, so the knee and the ankle are moving at the same time, all the way out, controlling all the way down. And then we're going to push back up again and do 5 pulses. 5, 4, 1, controlling back in. So we've got 1 full range and in, up and hold for 5, 4, 2, 1, controlling back down. So we want to make sure that we're not hanging out into the supporting leg. We want to try and keep an even amount of weight between our front hands and the bottom knee, and our core is working quite hard to keep our rib to hip distance the same on both sides. Okay, so let's keep that going. Out to the side and in and out for 5, 3, 2, 1, and in. If you prefer, you could be on your elbows, especially if your wrists get a little bit sore. Controlling in. It's normal to feel your supporting leg as well. Let's go 2 more times on this side. Last one. And 5. And let's go straight into the other leg. Full range, controlling in and 5 out. Keep it going. Let's go 3 more times, controlling as we draw back in, making sure the band isn't pulling you in. And last one, pushing the shoulders down away from your ears. And 5, 2, 1. Okay, now to finish this off, we're just going to go alternating either leg out to the side, just full range. Up and controlling in. Let's go 5, 3, 2, and last one. Alrighty, drawing it all the way in. Okay, we're going to go into our abs, our core work now. So let's place the band around your feet. Your option for this exercise is to take the band away, okay? It's definitely not a necessity. So we're going to roll down onto our back. You can have your hands behind your head here. And we're just going to extend the legs away. So in terms of where you should be with your range, a great indicator to your end range here is to imprint your spine, so push the lower back flat into the floor. You can lift your chest up, so draw your rib cage towards your hips. And then we're just going to lower the legs as far as you can maintain your imprinted spine. So as soon as you feel your back starting to lift off the floor, you've lost that contact and that connection, the activation through the core. It then transfers the load into the back, which is what we're trying to avoid. Okay, so just draw it down as far as you can. And then from here, we're going to pull one leg in towards your chest and then control it back away. Other side in and control away. You could also do this from a tabletop and push away instead if it's a little bit too much load through the back or it's a little bit too challenging in the core. Okay, we'd try and prefer higher volume today over making it harder and having more rest. I'm going to try and keep moving. Let's go 4, 2, and 1. Now we're going to push away and then come back in. You can do this in tabletop as well. Push the feet away, controlling in. Try and hold your sit-up position here, drawing the rib cage towards your hips. Let's go 4, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, just dropping the feet down. Don't stress about the band for the moment. And we're just going to go into a sit-up, drawing the rib towards your hip again, hanging your head into your hands to keep the tension out of your neck. And we're going to take the hands towards the hips, all the way down overhead, back towards the hips, back behind your head. Okay, once it returns back behind your head, we're going to do 4 little sit-ups. So 4, 2, 1, holding it up, hands come down, overhead, coming back up, and hands back, 4, 2, 1, and hands reach. Arms come overhead, drop the head down, lift back up into a sit-up, hands come back behind your head, and 4, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to start adding on 1 rep at a time. So let's go 5, 3, 2, 1, and reach. Lower, control it down, coming back up, and 6, 2, 1, and reach. We're going all the way up to 10. If you need to have a break, take a break. 4, 5, 6, 7, and reach. And 8. Your breath is in through the nose, out through the mouth. And reach. Second last round. 9. You should start to feel your core. 1, and last one, reaching all the way up, shoulders as high as you can, and 10. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Okay. Just take the band off to the side. We'll be using it again a little bit later for our upper body. Now we're going to get into a side plank. I'm going to show you a couple of different movements that you can do in a side plank, but just remember your option is just to hold a plank still, okay? If a side plank isn't suitable for you, you can hold a front plank, or you could go back to that sit-up sequence starting with 1 sit-up, working all the way back up to 10, okay? So lots of options. Otherwise, we're going to go onto our elbow, and you can either be on your foot on the bottom, or you can be on your knee. People tend to find the knee a little bit easier in regards to balance, but you'll still end up feeling your core holding you here. So we're going to take the top arm towards our head here, and we're going to be lifting the top leg up towards the elbow. Okay, so we're going to pull up and then control back away, and pulling in, trying to keep the hips up nice and high. Okay, so as we do a little side reach, we don't want to be dipping the hips. Okay, it's a lot of work for our shoulder to then lift our hips back up as well. If we're lowering and rising through the hips, it should just be a knee pull to the elbow and then control back away as we lengthen back through the rib cage and hips. Let's do it. Pulling in and reaching away. Use your breath. Exhale as you pull it in. Inhale to extend away. I definitely feel my bottom obliques working here. Let's go 3 more. 2. And last one. And now we're going to pulse it with the hips for 10, 9, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, we're going to do all of that on the other side. So I'm just going to turn around to face the back. Elbows dropping down, hand behind your head, whatever option you're taking. And let's get set up for our next round. And when you're ready, let's go. Pulling in, extending away. Hips stay high. Let's go 5 more. Nice and smooth, there's no rush. And last one. And let's go pulses. 10. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Dropping it down. Okay. Coming all the way back down onto our back here. And we're going to go into a single leg sit-up. So we're going to take the arms all the way overhead, and we're going to be scooping them up and around. Okay, so the arms are doing this action, similar to a teaser. Okay, this is actually a teaser regression, a step up to, it's a stepping stone to a teaser. Okay, so a full teaser is this, where we scoop the head and the chest, rising the legs up, and then control all the way back down. So if you're finding this exercise isn't working your core as much as you think you could, because it's going to be our second last core exercise, you could do a full teaser. Otherwise, you're going to do this option with me. So arms are coming all the way overhead, and we're going to scoop our chin towards our chest, rising the chest and the legs together as we draw up, rising, and then lower all the way back down through the spine with control. Rising back up and down. Okay, let's start getting a little pause and then slow. Just to make sure that we're not using too much momentum. Let's go 3 more on this side. 2. And last one. Rolling all the way down straight into the other leg. You might notice that one leg feels a little bit stronger than the other in this position. I definitely do. My left side is a little bit weaker. Let's go 3 more. Don't stress if you can't get the leg completely straight. And last one. Alrighty, and now we're going to go into a plank ladder, holding for 10 seconds, and then we'll have 10 seconds break, then we're holding for 20 seconds, 10 seconds break, 30 seconds, 10 seconds break, and so on, okay? Until we get up to a minute. I used to do this a lot in my Pilates classes until I think everyone has threatened to stop coming. So I stopped doing it for a little while, but we're going to be reintroducing it. Okay, so you can be on your hands, you can be on your elbows, knees, toes, whatever you're working on. You want to make sure there's a straight line from your shoulders to your knees if you're in a knee plank, or shoulders to your toes. Okay, let's do it. We want to make sure that we're pushing the floor away, we're not collapsing through the lower back, and we're thinking about drawing our tailbone under so our rib is towards our hip and our core is working as much as we can. So let's get ready for a 10-second hold in 2, 1, let's go. Shifting our shoulders over our hands. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. 10-second break. And back into it. That was a little bit longer than 10 seconds. Let's do it. We have 20 seconds now. Keep breathing. We have a 10-second break after this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 10 seconds. Then we have 30 seconds. Getting ready. 2, 1. Let's do it. Let's work on our breath here. Nice and big in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. 10 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. 10-second break. Then we have 40 seconds. Getting ready again in 3, 2, 40 seconds. Let's do it. Nice and strong here. Remember, you can be on your elbows, your knees, or your toes. If a plank isn't right for you, you can be holding a sit-up. Ten seconds. And 10-second break. So if you're unable to keep holding for this extended amount of time, just stay up in a plank for as long as you can. Getting ready. 50 seconds. Let's do it. Normal to start feeling a little bit fatigued now. We're not going to be working back down the ladder, okay? So once we've got our minute hold in, that's all we're doing. Like all we're doing for the core as well. This is our last core exercise. My shoulders actually get tired in my plank. So if you're feeling the same way, it's pretty normal. 10 seconds. Okay, and dropping it down. Okay, we have one more. 5 seconds. Okay, let's do it. 1 minute. Remember to use your breath. Take whatever option you need. If you've been doing them on your toes, You could try it on your knees. Feel free to scale it. Keep shifting your shoulders over your hands or your elbows, wherever you are. A minute feels like a long time after doing all the other work. We'll do some upper body after this and then we're done. Ten seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Okay, so I'm hoping that warmed up your shoulders a little bit too, coming into our upper body work. So let's grab our short band again. And if you don't have a short band and you've just been doing everything body weight, for this next one, just grab anything that you have lying around the house that has some weight to it. I know I jokingly say this, but a bag of potatoes is actually an awesome one, and you can just take potatoes out of it and change the weight as you need. Okay, so we're going to go with the band under the foot, and we're going to be coming up to standing. Okay, so from here, there is a fair bit of tension on this band. If you don't think that yours is able to withstand this amount of pressure, just find another substitute. Okay, so we're going to hinge, so pushing the bottom back, hinging from the hips, and we're going to be rowing the arm up towards your ribs. Okay, so the elbows reaching past the ribs, pull the hand up as far as you can, and then control it all the way back down. If you want to be in a split stance, you can as well. So let's go pulling up, controlling down, making sure our shoulders are nice and square. Okay, so what I mean by that is they're even across here. What we're avoiding is when we drop the band back down, the shoulder comes out of alignment, and then we use that to pull back up. Okay, this shouldn't be your back rotation work. It should be nice and square. We're pulling up, then controlling straight back down, traveling along that same alignment. Okay, let's go 10, 8, 5, 3, and 1. Okay, and let's go other side, stepping it in, taking it back, squaring our shoulders, rib cage towards your hips, and let's go all the way up, controlling back down. So start with a couple of slower ones, and then we'll pick up the pace. Keep pulling the shoulders back. And let's go 5. Start picking up the pace. And 1. Drawing all the way in. Nice. And let's just place the band around your wrists here. Okay. And we're going to go into a banded pull apart. So we're going to keep or a wrist pull. Okay. So we want to try and keep the elbows pinned in next to your ribs, and we're just going to pull the band away and then control all the way back in. Okay, so I would usually use a lighter band for this one, so my range is quite small here. You could also do this holding dumbbells, rotating out and then controlling back in. Okay. Okay, we're going to do 3 more, keeping the elbows pinned. Okay, now the elbows are going to be moving away from our ribs as well. Okay, so take the wrists and the elbows away and then control back in. With dumbbells, you'll have a bigger range here, all the way up and then all the way down. Okay, wrist and elbow are leading at the same time. And let's go for 6. 4, 2, and 1. Okay, let's come down to the floor. Just drop the band off to the side. We won't need that again. And we're just going to come up into an elevated crab here. Hips are up nice and high. And then we're going to push the elbows back behind us. Lower and rise. Okay, let's go 12. 7. Trying not to collapse into the shoulders. 3. And 1. Okay, have a little breather. Hoping you feel your shoulders and your triceps in that one. Okay, we have 12 more and then that's going to do us for today. Okay, so fingertips pointing towards you and lifting the hips back up. And let's go 12. Your range doesn't have to be very big. We just want to make sure that it's coming from your elbows, not your hips. No rushing. 3. And 1. Awesome job. Okay, dropping it down. Thank you for joining me today.